Hi, my name is Rolisboa, also known as the Almighty GM. Last October I attended Rolisboa, an annual convention for RPGs. There I taught a workshop on how to paint your first mini, but I also attended a workshop. Curious Goblin taught us how to make terrain out of foam and wire. It's been months. It's time to finish it. I started by realizing that my PVA glue had completely dried up. I got more glue and mixed it with just a bit of water. To hide the wire that the tree is made out of, I ripped some kitchen roll, dunked it in the mix of PVA glue with water, and wrapped the trunk and branches with it. After it dried, I covered all the foam parts with Mod Podge. I could have used PVA glue for this, but Mod Podge is a bit better at sealing the foam, so it won't suck up the paint. I then primed it in black. I didn't want to spend a lot of my specialized miniature paints, so I used some old acrylics I had. I mixed light brown with a batten black to paint the ground that I'm going to cover with grass. Then I added a little bit of yellow ochre to make the wood color. I painted the bricks in neutral grey. I put a little of Vallejo New Wood on a makeup brush and then took most of it off to dry brush the tree. I wanted to try some paints I had not used before. This is an Enamel paint wash. I like the very subtle tint it gave the bricks, but I don't like the smell and the fact I have to use thinner to clean my brush. Don't use your good brushes with this. Then I used this light grey dry brush paint by Enamel to bring out some details on the bricks. Next, I've used two effects paints, slimy green light for moss and heavy earth for a mud effect. When it dried, I liked the mud effect, but the moss one needs to have a bit more texture. Now it was time for my favorite part, flocking. First, I painted PVA glue on all the ground. Then, I put a piece of paper on my work surface and got some Woodland Scenics dark green static grass and field grass from Army Painter. I gently dropped the grass from above and tapped the piece to release the grass that wasn't glued. I covered most of the piece with dark green and used the paper to get what was left back in the bag. I did the same with just a little of the yellower flock to give some variance in tone to the grass. I left it to dry overnight, and the next day I spread it with a mixture of PVA glue and water to make sure everything stays in place. Next it was time for flowers and grass tufts. I got a few sets from Gamer's Grass and used bits from all of them for this. And also some swamp tufts from Army Painter. I didn't follow any rules for their placement. I just put them wherever it felt like it would look good. Then it was time for the tree to get some leaves. I had some clump foliage from Woodland Scenics that I tried to glue with PVA. It didn't work. Super glue did work because it dries faster. I had two different tones of green. I used the darker one in the areas that were more in shadows, but I also just mostly glued it wherever I felt like. I finished with a spray of PVA water. That's what I'm calling it now. And it's finally done! I wish I had an airbrush and some inks to give the leaves a bit more color variation, but let's see it up close. For the close-ups, I made this thing, and it gave me an idea for something I can make for both photography and gaming. It's gonna be my next video. Until then, thank you for watching this one, do all the internet things, and see you next time!